Stanley looked out the shattered window of his office with the cool wind blowing his cape back. Dwagons floated by in lazy, slow orbits around the Arkenhammer. He was sure this pose still looked dramatic to his units below, but it had stopped feeling heroic about 10 minutes ago. Come on, Maggie, he thought out loud for the gazillionth time. Check in. You're not even in trouble, okay? Just want to know what's going on. Jopa had already swept the shattered glass into a corner and stood by at something resembling attention. As usual, he had nothing to say. Stanley looked at him. He looked back. Stanley felt like yelling at him, but he wasn't sure what for. What did he expect the Twoll to say, exactly? You're a big help, he snapped, and turned back to look out the hull. It was time to start thinking about what he'd do if Maggie never called back. He knew where everyone was, in the Magic Kingdom. Hamster also had like 8 stacks of infantry with him, which made Stanley the first ruler ever to have a force of troops in the Magic Kingdom. That was really cool. The Titans were probably pretty proud of him today. But it also put him on edge a little. He wanted to understand it better. Were they at war with all the free casters now? Is that why Thinkograms and the iBooks weren't working? That might not be too good. We should probably go down to the war room, he said. It looked like he was going to have to run his side the basic way you do when you have no Thinkomancer. Rulers, orders, and maps. Yep, time to go to work. He headed across the vast floor of his office toward the door.
Yes, Lord,
said Jopa, following along. Hup, said Stanley, stopping in his tracks. Hang on. The call felt weird. Fainter and something else. Had a strange brain taste. He could only barely see her, but she was in his head. Maggie, he shouted.
My overlord, I apologize, said Maggie, her voice a little distorted. We've had magical difficulties beyond our control.
What's Hamster doing? Put him on.
I cannot at this time, Lord, said Maggie. He has asked me to tell you all is well for now, to thank you for saving his life, and to warn you to prepare the city for possible assault by air. From Charlescon.
Yeah, he better believe he owes me. So who hired Charlie? I thought Jetstone was broke, said Stanley, mulling it over. Hey, is Slightly really croaked?
He is, Lord,
said Maggie's voice.
And we are at war with Charlescon itself.
Stanley shook his head. No, Charlie fights for cash. He doesn't do that.
Perhaps not, said Maggie. But your chief warlord does. Lord Parson is intent on conquering Charlescon as a side.
Stanley's eyebrows went up. He'd given up taking on Charlie a long time ago. It was impossible. Arkentool versus Arkentool? The Titans didn't want that, did they? But Hamster? Hamster did what Hamster was gonna do, right? Including the impossible. Especially the impossible. His lips slowly spread into a wide grin. Oh, cool, he said. Yeah, I hate that guy.